and you lip off the puck. But if you've got a little time, then come and spend it with us. Cause now you're listening to The Rough Cut.
Hello, welcome back to the Rough Cut Golf Podcast. You join Jacob and I in the hitting studio because with this lovely brick wall, which you will have seen all over the Peter Finch Golf channel and the Swing Quest channel in the past. The reason that we're in here is because next door, where we would normally record the podcast, is currently a decorator's studio. Mm-hmm. He is redecorating that room, redecorating our current office, and also preparing our new office, which is downstairs, for us to move into at the end of this week.
Our new podcast studio.
And we will have a new podcast studio. Yeah. So we're hoping that in the near future, you will be able to see the new studio. We're hoping that we can get it finished in the next couple of weeks, which would be ideal. Mm-hmm. Today, we are a little bit split also because not only is this setup weird, but the setup that we're going to throw you to in America in a minute is also weird because Peter Finch has just played in regional qualifying for the US Open.
Yep.
That's the United States Open.
That is. Not the real one.
No, and we don't know currently how he did because we're recording this before he went out and played. So either... Well done.
Yeah.
Either excellent work, Peter, or damn it. We don't know.
Next year.
Yeah, we'll either get you this year or next year. Well done. So yeah, that's going to be tricky, but we will throw you over there to get their reaction to the round and how it went and how Pete played. It looked, based on some stuff in the group chat, that he was very well prepared. Mm-hmm. Did you see all that?
I did. He was doing some weird memory game of the holes. I don't quite know. They're going to be there, Pete. They're not going to change.
Yeah, the holes are all going to be the same.
That's the one thing about golf. They can move the pin around a bit, but the holes will stay the same.
Still going to be left.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe he got on great, maybe he didn't, but, all we can do is hope. However, we do have a couple of things to talk to you about before we throw you over there, one of which is the sponsor of today's podcast, NordVPN.
Yeah, NordVPN have been looking after us, been podcast sponsors for almost over a year now, it feels like. It's been a very long time, been great supporters of the channel, and we're great supporters of them. They provide such an incredible product, and I think VPNs are things that people should just have. They should just be part of your daily life now. I mean, it's part of my daily life. Yep. Mine runs all the time because it is protecting me when I'm online. Online is a scary place. We know that. We're part of that.
We live on the
We
internet,
are online. We
and
are scary people.
We can tell you it's terrifying out there.
And it's so cheap. That's the other thing as well. It's so cheap to get.
Yes. So because the world of the internet is changing, it is a darker, scarier place. There could be people out there who want to take your information. Right?
I don't want to give that information.
They're like, give me your card details.
I don't want to give them it.
Give me your address.
I don't want to give that either.
Give us all your phone numbers.
You can have that.
No, right. So people like NordVPN provide a service which is invaluable, and NordVPN are the best at it because the thing that they do, aside from protect you, is that they do that wherever you are in the world. Mm-hmm. So we travel all the time. NordVPN do a great job of, you just click a little button, you tell it what country you want to pretend that you're in, and it tells your device that you're in that country. You get to watch all the coverage of sports when you're somewhere completely different. Mm-hmm. You don't have to go through all the silly rigmarole of, trying to trick the Masters app into understanding that you're in the US. You just tell it you're in the US and it directs you straight there. Yeah. You want to buy a flight to another country. You tell it you're in that country, you get the local rate. There's loads of great stuff, and like Jacob said, it is very, very affordable. Now, it's even more affordable if you go to nordvpn.com/roughcut, because if you buy a 2-year plan, you're going to get 4 months extra for free.
4
entire months.
And I like 3.
I like 4 and I like 3.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. So thank you, NordVPN, for supporting the podcast, and go and check them out. You need a VPN and you need Nord to set one up for you, and they're the best. So check them out. This podcast is also sponsored by Golf Care.
Yes, Golf Care have been sponsors and friends of the channel for a couple of weeks now.
Yep.
And, with the guys travelling away, obviously Pete playing right now, I think, in regional qualifying.
In fact, we can check the scores in a second.
When we, hopefully, and you guys obviously are travelling away on golfing holidays, you need to be protected. Your golf clubs are very expensive and sometimes very sentimental and very important to you.
If something happened to that 7-wood, Jacob, I would have a right strop. Now, what things can I do to protect my golf clubs when I'm traveling?
There are plenty of things you can do. You can take the wood heads off the top of the shafts and put them into the head covers.
Yeah, and the satisfying
click. Yeah. Don't lose the screw though. That's also important.
Yeah, very important.
You could take your irons, flip them upside down so the head's at the bottom of the bag.
Very good.
Get some towels, wrap it around, just keeping everything like tightly and protected.
Yep.
The thing with travel is it does come with risks, whether it be with damage or theft. And, sometimes your travel insurance that you might have may not cover what you need for your golfing requirements.
So regular, normal travel insurance might not cover my golf stuff?
It might not, no.
Wow. However, the good news is that Golf Care has 4 different policies to choose from, depending on what level of cover you need, which is great because if you're traveling anywhere in the world, you want to be covered to make sure that your golf stuff is looked after.
Absolutely. Like I say, I've taken my woods off. I've put my irons upside down, but that might not necessarily mean anything.
Someone might steal it, Jacob.
And I need to be covered by Golf Care to do that. But obviously, as mentioned, your standard travel insurance policies may not always provide the level of cover that you would expect for a golf holiday, which means you may have to pay extra for all those little golfy specific covers that you would actually need. So it's just amazing to be able to travel with peace of mind and security that you are covered, whether it comes to damage or theft of your golf clubs.
Excellent. Golf Care are running an exclusive offer for the Rough Cut Golf podcast audience. Not only are they offering all new customers a 30% discount on specialist golf insurance, they're also throwing in 6 Pro V1s and 3 Wilson golf balls also, plus 3 free rounds of golf up to the cost of £340 at selected golf courses around the UK. So if you want to take advantage of this exclusive otter, you can go to golfcare.co.uk/roughcut, or you can click the link in the description. All the information that you need is there. Of course, terms and conditions apply. The next thing for us to do is to throw over to Peter Finch and the boys to react to what could be great news and what could also be some slightly saddening news. Let's go to America.
Hey everybody, welcome down. I am joined by Kieran, I am joined by Sam. We are sitting here just after having competed in US Open qualifying, the regional section at Medford Village in New Jersey. And as you can see by the fact that champagne is not popping and we are not surrounded by a coterie of absolutely adoring fans, didn't make it. Shot +3 for a 75. Not entirely sure where that puts us in the pack. I think we're about 30-something.
36 now, 236.
36th at the moment. Now, it's only the top 6 that get in. So I would need 30 people to drop out. I was just going to say drop out. Why would you have to be so dramatic about it? Typical Sam. So I don't think we're going to be getting through to final qualifying, which is annoying. We changed up the Quest for the Open this year to be Quest for the Opens because the US Open is something that I am eligible to stick my name into the ring for. Stick my name into the ring? Throw my hat into the ring for.
Hat into the ring or name into the
Name
hat?
into a hat. That's right.
Yeah.
So I put my name into the hat and then I threw my hat into the ring.
Put your name into the ring and your hat into the pool.
Right. So it wasn't to be. Ultimately today, I just didn't play well enough. I didn't hit the ball well enough off the tee. The course at Medford Village is really tight and the greens are very slopey. So I was not hitting enough fairways and I was kind of putting myself out of position. And when I got on the green, I was leaving myself above the hole and I was leaving myself a lot of downhill putts and a lot of 30 to 40 footers, which is very unlikely to make. Oddly enough, they were probably some of my best shots. I think I lipped out or burned the edges on about 4 40-foot putts, which could have made the day a little bit different. But I think the last person to get their kind of regional qualifying spot, I think, is 3 under or 4 under today.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm seven shots away from that.
The winner, by the way, was 9 under. So,
9 under par, yeah.
So, there were shots out there.
I'm going to ignore that one. I'm going to choose to ignore the fact that someone shot 9 under today. I mean, it's a bit of a weird one where 4 or 5 under today was a really, really good score. Although I can see how someone shot 9 under if they left themselves with putts up the hill.
Up the hill, yeah.
If they didn't leave, unless they are literally Ben Crenshaw, Brad Faxon, and Bobby Locke merged into one person and set loose on Medford Village. I'm presuming that's what they did.
I think he was an amateur as well, so he's
Well, I imagine a lot of the amateurs who are kind of entering this, like college kids and stuff like that. So, no, it was a hell of a score. But yeah, it wasn't to be for me. So, that's the US Open qualifying done.
How did you kind of find, like, the US side of this? Obviously, it's a new thing that we've done this year, like, kind of branching into the US. What do you think? Like, what do you feel about the competition over here? How do you think it's run? You know, like, what's your thoughts about it?
It felt maybe a little bit less of a big deal than the Open.
I was going to say it seemed way more relaxed.
It was a lot more relaxed today. It felt, I think maybe because there aren't as many regional sections within the UK, and there's fewer opportunities to actually get through to Open qualifying final stage. Maybe it just felt a little bit less important in some respect. But
it didn't seem any different, for example, from the Orlando Championship that we did.
No. It felt just like a pro event. It felt like a one-day pro event. As far as the kind of people who were playing, it's just, again, same mix of amateurs and pros. I don't think the difference in the quality was that different than what we'd have back home. And the course was good. I think it's just more, the biggest difference really between this and Open qualifying was I didn't feel particularly ready for this one. I just, like this year, I just haven't played enough. I haven't practiced enough so far, and I wasn't sharp. So,
is there anything about this? Is there anything about US Open qualifying that's made you think differently about the Open qualifying? And do you think you'll approach it in a different way, or will it be the same as it was going into this?
No, not really. It's strange. I feel that with this, because we've done because we've done it for the first time, and the US Open has. I mean, it'd be incredible to play in the US Open. It'd be incredible to play in any kind of top class pro event, never mind a major. But the US Open, I've never dreamed of playing in the US Open. You know, I've never, ever, I think as a junior, would put it on the green thinking, this is for, this is to win the US Open at Shinnecock or Bethpage or wherever. It's just not, I don't really have that emotional attachment to it. And in my mind at the moment, I'm like, well, I didn't get through, but that's fine.
Did it feel like more of like a step towards the ultimate goal?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. I think getting through to final qualifying in this, it would have been fantastic. It would have been a great experience. But I now I don't feel as emotionally upset or as ecstatic if I'd have got through as I would have if it was for the Open.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I'm contrasting this against what happened last year, which was, just a huge thing for me about getting through regionals in the Open for the first time ever and just getting that monkey off my back. So, yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel. I don't feel too disappointed. I feel like it was a competitive round, which could have gone a lot better. I didn't play terribly. I didn't play great, but I did manage to play another competitive round, and it is just that next kind of step as the season moves on. I mean, ultimately, is that only my second comp of the year? Third. It's my third comp of the year.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, and we're in May.
By the time
April.
Last year, how many had you done by the time last year? Near a 6 or 7 or?
Yeah, I mean, well, what you played in at Fleetwood, which was beginning of April?
Course record time.
And then a couple more. I don't know. It's kind of, they all bunch up in May, don't they?
Yeah, May, June is when it really kicks off. I think one of the big differences from this year to last year is at this point last year I'd played a lot more and I practiced a lot more.
Yeah.
really through January and February played a bit, but like, you know, had stuff going on, couldn't really focus too much on golf. Shoulder was kind of messed up. You know, realistically, that's only just got better on the shoulder.
I gotta say that though, last year, like mid March, you weren't playing well, and you turned it around quite quickly. So it's definitely possible this year.
Yeah. It's just I have followed the same pattern though, because I remember last year, and this does happen quite a bit. Is I have worked very hard in the winter in past years, and I did to some extent this year, working on technique, working on my swing, grinding in the studio, and it always takes me a bit of time to take that and what we've tried to do from there onto the golf course. And it's definitely felt like that this year. But my short game, certainly my chipping and my pitching, has been so far below kind of where it needs to be.
Well, that's always going to be the one that suffers the most in the winter.
Yeah. Well, almost we've been over here for like 4 or 5 days. We got over here early so we could recover and have a bit of a practice. And my chipping today was really good, but I've spent really nothing but the last 2 days working on my chipping. So that's probably why. It's amazing, really, isn't it? Practice, you get better. And,
who'd have thought?
Yeah. Revelation for you here today.
That's going to be, I thought your putting was good. I really did think, so like that's a massive positive. I mean, your putting was obviously great last year as well, but like that's a good thing to not be struggling with at the moment and having that, you know.
I'll tell you what that tells you. I mean, you went back to the putter that was similar to last year's putter, so it means you need to start messing about with.
Yeah, I've just been searching and just trying to find that right kind of balance this year around what I want to look at, the feel of it, and I've been able to put a little bit more time into that. I think with my putting is my biggest improvement in putting is the moments under pressure I can actually hold a long putt. Like my scrambling today was really, really good, and my pace putting, considering those greens was so quick, was actually really good as well. Like, you know, we could be sitting here. It's a very strange round today because we could be sitting here, I think, talking about either a 7 over or a couple under.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
It was a bit of a weird one. I had some really good strokes of fortune today, but also hit some really good putts that just kind of lipped and didn't go in. So,
but also that 14th. Par 5? Was it 14 or 15?
Oh,
14.
God, that was so annoying. That was so annoying.
That's a stinking hole.
I double bogeyed this par 5. The wind was an issue all day. Like it was blowing all over the place. It was like swirling. And the key to Medford, if you ever play there, is just keep it below the hole. Every single hole, keep it below the hole.
Do not go long.
Do not go long. It's the one thing you can't do.
And stick in the fairway.
And the fairway. And I went long on that hole over the back of the green. Just hit a decent approach in. Actually, had one of my best strikes of the day. Just busted through. While the wind dropped, just kind of went through over the back, and ended up with a double. So it is what it is. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to July. Like, I think like you said, this is just a stepping stone, and now you've got comps coming up, and you've got all this stuff coming up. That I think at the point that you are now, I don't think you're far off. Like, I really, really don't. I think that you are, you know, with a couple more comps under your belt, a bit more just playing is going to be a key as well. And I think you're going to be right there for...
You don't play enough golf.
Right there for regional. Like,
don't. That's the thing. Like, it's kind of weird to say. It's been something which I've understood maybe a little bit more this year when I've been playing with playing with a lot of people, and you know, seeing the improvement and the consistency of their games and all the rest of it. And I'm honestly not playing that much golf compared to the people who I'm trying to compete against. It's been eye-opening, and obviously it does have to change. I just need to make sure that I'm making sure I have time to actually get out and play, get out and practice. But fingers crossed, it might be a little bit easier now at home, because the weather is starting to improve. The weather has been crap at the start of this year.
It really has.
You know, annoyingly, it's been incredible since we arrived here at home.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there
That's
you go.
fun, isn't it?
We can't complain. It's 20 degrees outside. So yeah, US Open quals over. But there has been other stuff happening in the world of golf as we sit here. First of all, we have Nelly Korda returning to world number 1 and winning a major championship at the Chevron. She was 18 under at Memorial Park in Houston. Pretty low score for a major. Wire to wire, she took a 5-shot lead in Sunday and held it. Celebrated with a cannonball jump into the lake. Now, her 36-hole total of 130 was the lowest in LPGA Major Championship history, and she led wire to wire, dominant from start to finish, and was never not challenged, but no one came at her because she was so far ahead. So she just had to hold on, and it's good to see her back at the top of the game. I mean, that's the 3rd major now.
Yeah.
She's come back a bit. Like, she had a bit of a struggle the last year or so, maybe.
Yeah.
After a year where she basically won everything she touched for a bit, and then kind of fell away a bit, but then
Yeah.
way back.
I mean, and she is she's one of those players. The way that she swings it, the way that she plays, she encourages more people to watch ladies golf than maybe wouldn't otherwise. I would be more inclined to watch it if Nelly Korda was kind of up there.
Yeah.
That's why you need superstars in the game to kind of really hold people's attention.
Yeah.
And obviously a major in any sport, I'm always going to kind of want to watch.
I saw that she was on the trajectory she was on. So the 36-hole lead of 130, that was also the exact same as Rory as well.
I was going to say that.
Like,
it
it
was
was
very similar to Rory.
It was exact same as Rory.
Jeez.
So it was quite it was quite weird, but yeah, it's good. It's lovely to see her up there. Like, she's, like you say, such an exciting player.
It's, I don't know. There's something about, I think it's just something about the way she swings, the way she plays. She does make it look.
Makes it look so easy.
Makes it
Yes.
very easy. Like,
I think she's just like so chilled out most of the time. As
Yeah.
well, so it's just like,
she has a demeanour which is just like, she doesn't really get ruffled, does she? So no, she's great. Like, she's one of the best players of this kind of generation now. With that 3rd major, I mean, the majors in the women's game, they feel, I'm not an expert, they feel like they're shared out a lot more.
Yeah.
Than in the men's game. Certainly in recent history.
especially if that's her only a 3rd. Like, after being so dominant for so long.
Yeah.
Across the board, that's pretty shut up. At her peak, where do you think she would finish in a PGA Tour event?
In a men's PGA Tour event.
PGA Tour event.
Probably missed the cut. What?
Unfair.
I don't think so.
I think top 20.
I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. There's no women's player who's ever made the cut at a PGA Tour event, and she is one of she's one of the best certainly at the moment. But Annika Sorensen, who was the best female golfer ever, had a couple of goes at trying to make the cut at PGA Tour events and just fell short, and she was incredible.
What are the differences in yardages between LPGA stuff and PGA Tour stuff?
I mean, it's probably around 1,000, probably just under 1,000. But it's not. The thing is, it's a question that does get asked a lot. But it's also like, why can't we just appreciate like the women's game for what it is, and understand that they play golf at the peak of the game. Like, they are unbelievable. And if you ever get a chance to watch, please do, especially live. Like, live, it's incredible. The atmosphere is fantastic as well. And every time we've worked with kind of LPGA or LET pros, they've always been amazing. And I don't understand why it can't just be said, okay, we appreciate this is great. Men's and women's sports generally are different, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Thanks for turning that around to make it look like I was being
Sam.
I'm asking the question because I think golf and tennis really it seems to be the closest for me in difference, like in terms of quality. Like, they seem so much closer.
The only way
to to the men.
the only way to balance it out, and it worked when Lynn Grant won, a couple of years ago. That was one of the best events I've watched. What was the actual name of the event?
The one that's the joint one.
Yeah.
It was kind of Henrik Stenson's thing at one point, wasn't it? Do you remember that?
I don't think it was called Henry.
No, I know it wasn't. No, no, but it was. He was sort of fronting. It's the host of it.
Yeah. It's a European tour event where both men and women play. Obviously, the women are off further forward tees, and that helps to balance it out. The problem is, like with any power game, if you take the top male professionals and the top female professionals, generally speaking, the top male professionals are going to come out on top just because it's more of a power based.
Well, that's what I think. Like, it's golf's become more of a power game, but it wasn't supposed to be a power game. So, like, if it was, take it back to its roots a little bit more and make it more technical and more sort of plotty and try and make it more mental thing and working out how to play the course rather than just whack it 350 yards.
It's interesting.
It might be a more sort of closer thing.
Because one of the things I was chatting to Hannah Gregg about this last year before, and we were chatting about like differences between kind of the men's and the women's game. And she actually said, obviously, off the tee, you can't see big differences. That's kind of fair enough. But you take a top female player, you compare them to an average male player. They're more than likely going to be hitting it past them. Obviously, when you get to the elite levels, it's different. But what Hannah was saying, that one of the biggest differences is in the short game.
Yeah.
Because like the speed that can be generated and the spin that can be generated is just kind of very, very different. So yeah, it's an interesting comparison, but it's.
I think it would be cool. I think it would be cool to have like some kind of co-sanctioned duo, like with the Zurich, where it's team event, but like a LPGA and PGA Tour sort of co-sanctioned thing where
definitely
a mixed doubles kind of tournament. That'd be cool.
Well, so it's called the Scandinavian Mix.
It's Scandinavian Mix, and that thing that event was great. I mean, it helps Lynn Grant's swing is awesome as well. So like to do more of those things would be incredible. Cool. Are they doing it at the Olympics? Is that coming in at the Olympics? I think.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, I mean, there is an opportunity there.
I think you are right with that. I think you are right.
There's my pitch: convert the Zurich into a mixed doubles event.
Okay.
Yeah, in 2022, she became the first woman to win a DP World Tour event, taking the Volvo car Scandinavian Mix by 9 shots.
It was such a dominant display, and things like that, they do work. So you can have these mixed events. You just gotta figure out the team situation. And it definitely brings something different. Talk about bringing something different.
Speaking of the Zurich,
the Fitzpatricks, Alex and Matt, got a tournament record 31 under par, 257 and won by 1 shot. So the Zurich is a pairs event. They play 4 balls and foursomes, and it feels like this used to be a bit of a not throwaway event, but it felt like people really didn't take it too seriously. But now it's developed something of a little bit more of a following, and every year when the Zurich comes around, it's like, oh, who's playing with who, and what are these stories going to be? And every year it just seemed to produce a story, and this year's story was amazing. So the Fitzpatricks won. They had the record score. They actually had a 4-shot lead going into the back 9, and then the last hole, Matt bombs this drive down the middle. Alex hits the approach into a bunker. It's a par 5. And then Matt hits an incredible long bunker shot to literally a tap-in. We're talking tap-in. We're talking like 5 inches, which Alex said he was pretty scared after he was going to miss, which probably says quite a lot.
They needed a birdie to win.
They needed the birdie to win. And kind of what this means is, so for Matt, I mean, Matt has won, I think, 4 of his last 5 starts?
This is his third win of the
season.
Third win. Second in a row.
Yeah, so be 3 or 4, I think, then.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, really. I mean, he is on fire at the moment. We'll see how kind of the rest of the year progresses. So to win another one for Matt, great, brilliant, add it to the resume. Winning it with your brother, wow. incredible. The way that they did it is fantastic. But what this means for Alex is very different. Now, Alex last year was almost kind of on the verge of losing his card. Now, he started this year brilliantly.
Yep.
He's already won one event. And then he managed to get the invite with Matt into the Zurich. And by the win, he gets the PGA Tour card. He's got a 2-year exemption through 2028. He gets into the next 4 signature events, the PGA Championship and the 2027 Players Championship.
Yep.
So just by this one pairs event, his career
That's massive.
has been transformed. This isn't to say that this wouldn't have happened naturally, if that's the right way of putting it. But through the Zurich, it's just been fast forwarded.
Yeah.
It's been expedited in a way which, at some points last year, it might not have thought possible.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird and amazing how quickly things can change.
Like saying, not only has he got to still continue to play well, but if he just gets like a top 10 in a signature event, from A, from a money standpoint, and B, from a world ranking standpoint, all this sort of stuff, like, it can just absolutely propel him to getting into the signatures all the time and stuff like that. So it's brilliant, and it's great to see. I saw the stat that they had won more. The two of them have won more events than Sheffield. They're obviously big Sheffield United fans, and they've won 2. Sheffield United have won 2 games in this, the last since 2026, and the Fitzpatricks have won 4 times. So it's pretty cool.
And that's all we have time for.
So
Yeah.
I think what you were trying to say is that the Fitzpatricks have won more tour events than Sheffield United have won football matches this year.
Yeah, that's it.
And we beat them the other day.
Yeah,
Come on.
3-2.
It's, I don't know, it's such a, golf's such a unique event that, golf is such a unique sport that you can have events like this. They're the first brothers ever to win on the PGA Tour. And I would have to say that you might expect, with the form that Matt is in, to, not have completely handled it on his own, but Alex actually played amazing golf as well. Especially when they were struggling a little bit in the foursomes, like some of the up and downs that he was getting were.
Well, like you say, he has won this year. So He's not no slouch.
Tell you.
I know I think that this is a really cool thing, and I think it would be silly to take this away. But obviously, that is a lot of stuff that he's earned there, and like you say, if it had been the case that Matt brings him on and he wasn't really pulling his weight or not doing anything, and Matt just wins it all on his own. Is this quite a lot, or is it too much as an exemption for just such an event like this?
It's a tricky one. I would say no. I think that over the course of the year, if you win an event, no matter what event that is, I think you deserve to get rewarded for that. And especially with the format, as mentioned, it's not like one player can win it on their own. There does have to be some kind of contribution from the other player. Because you could have this conversation, say, about the One Flight Myrtle Beach or the Punta Cana, is it, or the Bermuda Championship. Generally, these are fields that are kind of lesser, and that you still get rewarded incredibly well for them.
So you don't shoot a 57 on your own, do you?
No, well, it'd be a hell of a day. It would be a hell of a day if you didn't manage that.
No, I think it's really cool. I think you have to have, every now and again, you have to have these unique sort of scenarios where it's rewards something like this. It's a special story.
Yeah. But I like that. I like the idea of potentially having a mixed as well. That'd be good. But you need an event. Because I can't remember if the Zurich's always been like this. Did it used to just be a standard tour event? I think that's nagging in the back of my mind.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
So
there's probably plenty of events out there that don't get much coverage really, and don't really get many eyeballs. That if they were to do that, it would
kind of boost them up. Yeah, it just needs that one. And like the PGA Tour season at the moment, it's getting getting shorter and shorter and shorter. There's getting less events, so there's definitely room in there for something. And
To keep
obviously
mixing
DP
it
World.
up, you can't just do the same thing week by week.
Yeah, got to try something new.
Try something new. Come on, PGA
Hey,
Tour.
listen, they built a indoor stadium to do simulator golf. I think they can manage to squeeze in another 4-day event just with bears.
Yeah.
Oh God, they've even started the women's league in TGL, haven't they?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Just scrap it. Just get everyone outside. Everyone
It's a
outside.
lovely day.
Get everyone
West
outside. It's in Florida.
Yeah.
Just the irony
Yeah,
of being in Florida, and going inside to play golf. Anyway, I'm not going to keep banging on about TGL. Talking about golf courses where you want to go out and play. It's not the best segue in the world.
That was terrible.
But it's in keeping with open chat. Royal Lytham and St Hans has been confirmed as the host of the 156th Open Championship in 2028. Now, it's its first Open since 2012. It's a 16-year gap, and the dates is 30th July, 6th of August. It's slightly later in 2028 because of the Paris Olympics. It's going to be the 12th
LA
time.
Olympics.
Sorry?
LA Olympics.
Is the LA Olympics?
Paris Olympics was last time.
Oh, yeah. I just always want to go back to Paris. And it's going to be
Always have Paris.
it's going to be the 12th time that the Open's been played at Lytham. For me,
Long live the Northwest Open venue.
yes, absolutely. Keep coming back. Keep coming back to the Northwest. For me, it's a great course. It's a great course, and it's a really true example of a tricky links. I think there are some holes on there where you can be kind of punished. You can get some really unlucky bounces. But I think overall, as a links course, a really traditional one as well. And it's in amongst a load of Victorian houses down there in Lytham. It's got an amazing clubhouse. It has everything that you would want. It's also got like the history as well. First hosted in 1926 when Bobby Jones won. It's like a plaque in the bunker where he hit this incredible shot from. I think it's in the wrong place because I don't see how he could have hit that shot. It was just me. Other winners there, you've had Sebi, you've had Tony Jacklin, Gary Player, Tom Lehman, David Duval, and Ernie Els
Some
was the
serious
last.
past winners there.
Yeah.
That is a good list.
And this was the site of where Adam Scott really should have
I
had
was
his...
literally about to say this is where he blew up, wasn't it? It's the first year I watched it.
Painful. It was painful. Why that last hole? Put the 3-wood away. Get out your driver.
Yeah.
Just hit it past those bunkers. Just hit it past those bunkers, Adam. That's all you need to do. Just hit it past those bunkers.
Where would you say that Lytham ranks amongst the other courses on the rota right now?
I think such a tough question. I think it offers a different challenge to a few of those courses. I would say that if the wind is blowing around Lytham, you're gonna get a score which is probably a few under par rather than kind of like the deep ones. Like all links courses, it's so dependent on the weather. If you get a calm day around Lytham, you're probably going to get something really under par. But that's the same as any open venue.
Not many calm days around Lytham.
No. The one thing I've always found around Lytham when I've played it is the bunkering, especially the fairway bunkering, is so penal. Like, you go in there and you are coming out sideways. You are not approaching the green. So if you can be accurate off the tee, then yeah, you've got a chance. I've always found it incredibly hard.
I'm just checking how many bunkers there are. I'm pretty sure it's 181. But I don't know why I've got that in my head.
Mad knowledge.
A random thing to
I know.
Did you visit every single one when you played it?
I haven't played it, but I think it's an incredible venue, and obviously it went off the rota because of the space. Isn't it?
Capacity. So it kind of fell off after 2012. There was only 181,000 attended in 2012. Maybe that's where you got your 181 from. 181,000 bunkers. Is that where?
206. I thought there was 100. Yeah.
So, which is a lot. Because I mean, any sporting venue, any sporting occasion now, major championship, or we're going to get onto the Ryder Cup in a little bit. and talk about that. These are massive events now. The staging of these is so complex, and the amount of people and the setting, the amount of people watching, the grandeur of these events is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And Lytham generally is not getting any bigger. It's in this little cramped area. However, they've got some more land. They've been doing some work, and the RNA obviously think they're capable of hosting it again. It's something similar to what happened with Royal Liverpool. Like Royal Liverpool had to literally buy another golf course next door and promise to build a range and stuff so they could keep getting the Open back there. One thing you would say is with Royal Lytham going back on the rota, it does leave a little bit of an elephant in the room. Two elephants in the room, in fact. Two green elephants.
Which one's bigger? Which one's a bigger?
I would say Turnberry's the bigger elephant. So Turnberry has again been overlooked to host the Open. Also, Muirfield has been overlooked to be back on the Open rota. Now, I've never played Muirfield. I've heard wildly contrasting reports of people saying when they played it, it is the best Open rota, the best course on the rota. It should go back there every year. It's incredible. It's the truest test of links you're ever going to see. And then a few people come back and said, it's fine. So I don't know
where to take that.
I don't know where to take it. I think it's a very unusual club. It got taken off the rota because they wouldn't allow female members after one of their big general meetings, drinking sherry with their suits on. And then when they got taken off the Open rota, they had another general meeting with more sherries and more suits. And all of a sudden it was decided that ladies could be members after all. And then they overcompensated and had a ladies' Open there. And the RNA have turned around and still not let them have the Open back. So we will see. Turnberry for me, though, is... It's the bigger elephant in the room because it is such a great golf course. It is... If you ever get the chance to play, obviously you'll have to sell a kidney at the moment to get on there with the green fee.
Was that the highest? Was that the most expensive one?
1,000. Yeah. It is one of those where it's 1,000. There's a lot of different caveats to that, but I think even if you're staying at the hotel and you're doing everything, you're still talking over 500 quid. It's very, very expensive. But it is one of the outstanding golf courses in the world. It's literally one of the best. And I've been there. I've been lucky enough to play it maybe 3 times now, and the first time I played it is by far one of the most beautiful days I've had on the golf course. Like where it sits, the layout, the routing of it. It is spectacular. It is absolutely spectacular. I would say there are truer links courses. Like Turnberry's slightly different, like with some of the elevation changes and the way that the holes are laid out. But it makes just an unbelievable test, and it would look absolutely stunning if it was to ever go back there.
Do you think that would overtake? Because you say that Royal Portrush is like the best sort of course on the Open rota, don't you? Is that like? Do you think that would overtake it? Turnberry.
I think Turnberry, if it goes back on the rota, you could argue it's the best course. But it's not. Listen, this isn't about the golf course. This is about the fact that Trump owns it. So that's the overriding issue here. The RNA have said that they'd love to go back, but it's not logistically or financially viable. That's bullcrap. It's got literally nothing to do with that. If they can manage to host an Open at Royal Liverpool, which is logistically a nightmare, they can host an Open at Turnberry.
If Trump was really a fan of golf, he'd sell it so that it could go back on the road.
I don't think that's on his agenda anytime soon, is it? So it's one of those things. We're being denied seeing this golf course on the Open rota because of politics. Now, for better or for worse, I very much try and take a neutral view on this stuff. I don't want to really kind of mix politics and golf. People play golf or kind of watch golf and do all this stuff so they can get away from all that crap. But we are missing out on seeing an Open at Turnberry because of this at the moment. So I'm delighted to have Lytham back on the rota, but it is a shame that venues like Turnberry, like Muirfield, do seem to be passed over at the moment. We'll see. It all comes back around.
Yeah, and I think as well, like, bit off topic here, but like in terms of
what's your favourite Sunday?
But also the conversation that needs to probably be having is actually looking at what new courses could come on as well. Do you think, as well, or is that really? Do you think that's kind of a closed book?
I mean, something you would say maybe a tiny bit of criticism about Turnberry is that some of the holes that have been remodeled, it is now more of a modern links.
Yeah.
Like some of the classic links courses are altered at times, but they don't lose their true nature of a links course.
Yeah.
Like if you think about some stunning examples, new links courses which have been introduced, Dumbarnie, for example.
Yeah.
Kings Barnes.
Yeah.
They are, without doubt, if you ever get the chance to play, they're amazing. They are incredible venues, but they're not an open links course.
Yeah.
They just can't be. They're too open. They're too friendly. They're too manicured. They're too nice.
Yeah.
They're not going to be that classic venue. So if there was a new course to be put on there,
it'd have to be one, like an older one that has been ignored.
I would say it'd have to be an older one, yeah. You're looking
like a St. Paul.
You're looking at a St. Paul's. You're looking at a Prestwick, but
Wallasey.
Wallasey would be a new one. Wallasey would be a new one. They're missing a little bit of length. Oh, Wallasey's class. St. Paul's, for example, that has the potential to definitely host one, just because it's in that area where Royal St. George's is literally next door.
Yeah.
If that can host it, St. Paul's can host it.
Yeah.
It obviously would take a little bit of planning, which is way above my mental capability. But that is something which could happen. Other than that, Prestwick just won't happen. There's just not enough room there. Royal Aberdeen. It just won't happen. There's not enough room there.
There's not enough room for the golf course.
Yeah.
I mean,
the spectators before in the sea.
I mean, the only one which I would say the only one that does have a shout, like Trump International up in Aberdeen.
Oh my, yeah.
Again, that's just an unbelievable golf course, but it is just it's a modern links. I don't think it'd work. So there are a few dotted around the country that Portmarnock, for example. Still not heard anything around that. Porthcawl, has hosted the seniors.
And the women's.
And the women's, yeah. So there are venues.
Yeah.
There is a possibility, but I don't know. It's the one thing, you have one Open Championship every year, and every 5 years it goes back to St Andrews.
Yeah.
So, trying to share it around equally is
tricky.
tough,
It's funny that, just mentioning the women's, it's funny that, it's obviously not funny because it's obviously by design, but the Women's Open this year is at Lytham, having just announced that, so they're obviously showcasing it in that event in preparation for...
doing probably trialling a couple of things of access and parking and all those sort of things that kind of go on to it, like kind of, for example, what Adair did with their Pro-Am. That's one of the reasons that went ahead, is because they wanted to get all the big names in so that they could see what an access point of view would be like. These sorts of places do that. So
I mean, Lytham, the Women's British Open at Lytham, that was the first ever professional event I went to.
Really?
Wow.
I went there with my dad. It was great. So if you get the chance to go, I can't remember. All I remember is having the hiccups
the whole time
when Laura Davis was teeing off, and my dad had to take me away. I kind of vividly remember that, and my dad complaining bitterly. I mean, my dad loves Simone anyway, but complaining bitterly about Solero ice lollies being £1.
Wow, I wish you could get them for £1 now.
Being £1 because it was roasting. It was a really hot day when we went, I just remember going up to this ice cream van. Like, that was the catering back then. It was just like a few ice cream vans and stuff.
Yeah.
And went up, and like my dad just like looking at the guy when he said a quid for a Solero. Funny quid for a Solero. They are great, though. I do love a Solero.
Yeah,
I think we
Solero's
had about 5
great.
that day. Oh, it was so hot. Yeah, you won't be able to get that for a quid now. Something that you also can't get for a reasonable price is a Ryder Cup ticket. A few things have happened with the Ryder Cup since we've been away. So Jim Furyk has been named Ryder Cup captain for the US. I would say that's
Interesting.
an interesting one.
Yeah.
He has had a Ryder Cup before where he's lost.
Quite badly.
And I imagine that the USC Jim Furyk is like a safe pair of hands. He seems like a safe pair of hands.
He'll lose, but he'll lose quietly.
But you trust him to, like, if you gave him something that you needed to be done, that you needed to depend on somebody, you'd feel he would do it quite well.
Yeah.
But they're all things which are like, sorting out your insurance on your house, or giving you a good deal on a car and not ripping you off. Like, you could leave your kids with Jim Furyk and you'd be like, oh, they're not going to get up to any mischief with Jim.
As long as he doesn't show them his golf swing.
Hey, major champion, made it work. So, yeah, Jim Furyk's been named captain. I mean, I would say that is not as much of a surprise, and I would say that is a better appointment than Keegan Bradley was. Jim Furyk is generally not going to be able to play his way onto that Ryder Cup team unless something crazy
that
goes
was probably part of the thinking, like the circus that was around Keegan Bradley last time.
Yeah.
Probably just like, we need to keep away from that.
But it's also I think that this one would have been Tigers if
Didn't crash his
things
car.
hadn't been also going a little bit awry for him. And when you start looking away from that, you're not going to obviously give it to Phil at the moment. There's too much kind of going on there. So
There isn't many, is there?
Sorry?
There's not many candidates.
There are, but also
Not in the same way that there are European ones.
Yeah,
Like, there's tons of people that could be European ones. Not necessarily like available right this second, but in terms of like your Poulters, your Westwood, there's loads of people that could do it really well.
Yeah.
I would say maybe there is that. I would say there is a greater connection and a memory associated with European players of a certain age with the Ryder Cup, because over the last 30 years, Europe has been so dominant. It's kind of this made those stories. But hey, you never know. Jim might turn it around in Ireland. That is, if anybody goes, if anybody could afford these tickets. Now, as the Irish representative of today's podcast, Kieran, what do you think about the proud nation of Ireland, the locals being absolutely gouged to get tickets?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of I've read a couple of articles, and there's people out there that are saying, right, let's just do it, never going to do it again. But there's other people that are saying that and rightly so, that this is just ridiculous. It's an outlaw, even though they did sell out in very quick time.
Yeah.
So the demand's there, obviously.
Demand's always going to be.
Yeah.
We should take advantage of that demand.
We should give you what the price are. So, general admission tickets, general admission, like your cattle class. Just get them through.
One day.
Get them through the gates. Go that way. It's €12 a Guinness. That price is €499. So €500 for a general admission ticket. So that's nearly double the €260 that was charged in Rome. And the difference is in Rome as well. You got to stay in Rome.
Yeah. Limerick.
Limerick.
Yeah.
They do call it the Rome of Ireland. I actually quite like Limerick. I had a really great time. But it's a record. It's a record price. And listen, we know that generally across the board prices are going up for everything. But prices for sporting events is something that really, I don't know, just really gets to me. Really annoys me, because sports fans, when they go to live events, they make it. They make the atmosphere. They create what we love to watch through the screen. You know, Ryder Cups are nothing without the atmosphere. They're nothing without the passion. And I'm not saying that people who are spending €500 a day for a ticket aren't going to be passionate, but it does just price out so many people.
Normal people.
Just normal people. You hear it all the time. You hear stories of, you know, players who we look up to now, who are like 30, 40 years old, who've played in events and who've gone to events as kids and been inspired and like, oh, it's amazing. And, you know, I was there when we spoke to Poulter, you know, he was there at the Belfry, he was inspired. He looked at that. It was like, I am going to be here one day. I am going to make sure that I play in a Ryder Cup because I'm so inspired by what I've seen here. And, you know, you've got, you know, Jerry from Limerick who wants to take his brother and his 2 kids.
Yeah.
And it's like
spend $2,000.
you're in for $2,000 a day.
Yeah.
Like
No.
it's crazy, and that's before like you do even start getting drinks and food and all the rest of it.
And then
we
people
know
who aren't
that's
from
crazy.
Limerick who have to get a hotel and all the rest of it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a European team.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you've
yeah.
got the entirety of Europe having to come and probably spend like each, you know, hundreds of pounds on hotels, food, and then that ticket.
Yeah.
It's absolutely disgusting.
So a few people have kind of stuck their oar in. So Poulter's called it a sad day for loyal golf fans. Mark Fulcher, who's Rose's caddy, said, you know, true fans are being kind of bled dry by this. Some Irish politicians piled in because the Irish government have committed about €200 million in public money to support event. Now, I don't know how that's broken down. I imagine that's more infrastructure based and
Building a road.
trying to build the road and all the rest
Even
of
that
it.
though, like that is absolutely abhorrent. How can a government spend 200 million of taxpayers' money to then the organisation then just go, all right, well, I'm just going to recoup all that for our profits and then just go, yeah, sod that. I don't care about all that money that you've contributed. If you're going to start making a profit on an event like that, you have to then give the money back to the government that you took from.
It's
first before you start paying your shareholders.
With it's interesting when you get public investment into sport events. I remember doing like a bit on this when I was a journalist. The amount that public money is invested is normally only invested to the degree where you would expect a return. So like that infrastructure that they're doing, you would imagine that is tied into a long-term plan for that area, which is, if they tried to host a Ryder Cup there with the current roads and all the rest of it, you just won't be able to do it. And also you'd say, okay, it's 200 million invested, but you would expect the local economy to generate X amount. So it does get a bit grey area, but you would say that if the government is sticking up money to help host this event, the event might turn around and say, okay, well, as a concession for local people, tickets are going to be this. But
divide it by 10 and then I might consider it.
But it's just crazy. And like, can I be completely honest about this? I'm going to be completely honest about this. The Ryder Cup is an incredible event to go to for the atmosphere and to have a bit of a party and to cheer on your team. To actually watch golf, it is not good at all. You've got fewer players than any other tour event in the world. It's already 10 deep. If you want to see anyone, you just got to like find a spot, buy a green or buy a tee and just park out there. In Bethpage, me and Mick went to that. We were there with BMW and we had an amazing time. We were in hospitality.
Yeah.
We went from hospitality on the 13th to hospitality on the 17th. There and back again. In between that, I might have seen 2 shots. One was on the tee, one was on the green.
Yeah.
Free bar. What a time we had. What a time we had. And it was great. But the tickets in Bethpage, that was $750. And there's no way I'd pay that. No way I'd pay that. Because that, again, wouldn't get me in hospitality. I'd be spending another 200 quid on that and just trying to have a good time that day.
Yeah.
So you're in for $1,000 almost.
What you just end up with is people who go in who 750 quid or 500 quid means absolutely nothing to them. And they just go, yeah, whatever. Like, someone who would actually be able to save up for that is then thinking this is not worth it.
Yeah, it's
And then you end up with the atmosphere like you did at Bethpage Black with all these
it was
just shouting the odds all
it was a weird atmosphere. It was a weird atmosphere. So Irish residents do get a priority ticket window, so they could bankrupt themselves before anybody else if they really want to, which is great.
You know, me, mum, and dad have applied to be a volunteer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've applied to take bins out. Like I'm a bin. I've applied to be a bin man. This is actually no joke.
How much have you had to pay for that?
Well, I don't know if it's going to come in yet, but it's just.
Do you have to pay to be a volunteer?
That's the other thing I absolutely hate as well in golf.
Not
volunteers.
Because I put a form in.
I'm right in thinking that you had to pay to be a volunteer last year at Bethpage.
At Bethpage.
Yeah, I did read that. I think volunteers at golf events on its own, even if it's free, is gross because you're doing a job for them to make their money. I think second of all, if you have to pay, even worse.
So volunteers are kind of major championships like the Open and all the rest of it, or like the Marshalls and stuff. That's a very traditional golf thing to do. So if a venue, so like today down in Medford, or when you get all the Marshalls at regional qualifying stuff, they're all club members. So the club goes around and say, we're hosting this, come out, give us a hand. It's great. I actually do really appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
I think having volunteers at events is it gets difficult. It gets difficult though, like you just said there, Sam. It gets difficult to defend when you're making so much money from an event. And if I really
off
don't
the backs of workers.
Of the workers unite. I just think it gets weird when you start charging that much. And for €500 a day, it's just.
They just every year they just push it a little bit further, don't they?
Yeah.
Just one more until it just gets to that dystopian level.
I think it's
you're seeing it. I mean, you're seeing it in obviously like sports like football,
Liverpool recently.
Yeah, if you think about over here in the States, like Super Bowl tickets every year when your team gets there, again your thousands and thousands.
The World
of
Cup
pounds.
tickets. Have you seen the recent visit for them? They're like astronomical.
But the only way it will ever change is if like the fans en masse say no and just stop going.
Yeah.
But even that might not quite be enough, because ultimately it's not really the fans that pay the most. It's TV money and all the rest of it.
They've got a chokehold over.
Well, I think as well as like because the demand is there and there is people out there that will pay that.
There's always going to be people waiting in the wings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you're never going to convince an entire fan base to just stop going.
It just comes down to a moral, like and Richard Atkinson is at the forefront of that. Like
I do want to say, obviously we need to give the other side of the story as well. So Ryder Cup Europe chief Richard Atkinson said prices are proportionate for a major global sporting event, and also pointed out that €499 is still cheaper than the $750 that fans paid at Bethpage last year, and the Irish residents get priority ticket window. I'm not entirely sure defending €500 because it's cheaper than the $750 is quite the way to go.
No. I reckon Richard Atkinson should probably just stay quiet.
And the fact that it's proportionate to a major global sporting event
is not true.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that just means they're all inflated.
Yeah, that.
Nice one, Rich.
That is an interesting way to go. So anyway, what do you think? Let us know. Something which is also more than likely going to be ludicrously expensive. Justin Rose news, having come again so close to capturing the Masters and playing some of the best golf of his life, even though he is advancing in years. For me, he is almost the ultimate professional, an example of what you can do if you look after yourself and you take care of your body, take care of your game, and have a driving ambition and passion to try and stay as relevant and stay as good as you can within the world of professional golf. He's signing with McLaren Golf, as in the cars.
McLaren Cars Golf.
Yeah.
McLaren
are making golf clubs now. He's their first ever global ambassador, which is true. He's also an investor. I don't know how much he's invested into the multi-billion franchise, which is McLaren.
We need a great deal of investment.
We will see. But it's a weird one. So Rose apparently has been working behind the scenes for a couple of years, advising McLaren on developing and testing these clubs, and he has a stake within the business. I am struggling with this one, just to understand why. No, but like McLaren. So this is the thing, right? So McLaren are a car company. They make cars.
You don't say.
And they are obviously in Formula One, and that's where probably most people know them from.
Yeah.
Most people get eyes on them. The chances of people who are listening to this owning a McLaren are relatively slim. If you do own a McLaren, then
let us know.
good for you. Like,
Get in touch.
Yeah.
get in touch. Let's go somewhere.
Let's go for a meal somewhere. You can buy.
You can get it, yeah. But to set up a golf club company, like, you do obviously have to do the research, the development. You have to get your manufacturing base set up. I mean, I'm presuming that they can co-op some of the factory space that they use to develop their cars and car parts to make golf clubs.
They would have to have found so many knowledgeable people from other companies to corral into this new risky business.
But it's still going to be like hundreds of $1 millions to get this thing off the ground, to even start putting out clubs, which there's no guarantee people are going to buy or like.
No, yeah.
They're going to be expensive. Obviously, you're signing Rose to making him an investor, giving him equity, whatever it's going to be. Grant Horvath's probably going to be next here. To give, this thing a fighting chance to get off the ground. Justin Rose has done this before. He's not afraid to make big decisions. Like, he switched to Honma when he was world number one. Actually won the week that he switched to Honma, and then actually exited out of his contract after pretty much a year because he was just playing terrible golf.
With the Honma clubs.
Well, that was my first thought for this. Like, he's mid-40s, playing some of the best golf of his life, become so close to that elusive next major that he's waited so long for, and then throws it on the bin by signing a brand new club manufacturer.
Now, we don't know. We don't know what these clubs are going to be like. For all we know, he might sign with McLaren, and they might be amazing.
Yeah.
They might be amazing. Like, he could play fantastic golf with them. I've got a feeling, if you look at history, which we've spoken about a little bit, if a new club manufacturer comes along, it is very rare that they will kind of develop mass market success, but also tour player success very quickly. The only one I can really think of recently, we have Tacoma, which is mostly all consumer based.
Yeah.
You've got the YouTube.
Did they have any tour pros?
No. You got YouTube pros kind of using it, but essentially it's a consumer facing brand. And then you have Lab, who have kind of broken through, I would say, from the consumer market into the pro market. But even that, the amount of tour pros using the Lab put is very small. So to make that move,
and that's one club,
and that's one club, and this is everything. So to make that move is really difficult, and we don't really know what it's going to be like. We imagine that the drivers are probably going to be like an orange color.
Yeah.
They're going to be shaped like cars,
and they're going to go
like
fast.
An F1 car, yeah.
Like, they're going to go fast, maybe make a brum brum.
And get DRS halfway through. Yeah.
It's just I just don't understand why it seems so weird.
I said money, but it doesn't feel like that. I don't know. It just feels that doesn't even feel right.
No, because
it just seems so random.
I can't understand. I can't understand the drive unless like the CEO of McLaren is just an absolute golf nut, like loves it and just wants to do a kind of Bob Parsons and PXG.
Maybe
kind
he
of thing.
really sold Justin Rose a dream. Maybe he's just a really good motivational speaker.
Maybe Justin Rose sold them the dream.
Maybe Justin Rose now owns McLaren, and that's how this went.
Yeah. Maybe
He said, "How about I swap you?"
Yeah, do you know what? He drives. He's going to get a seat in F1 next year.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Maybe I'm not seeing the big picture. Maybe I'm not fully grasping what this means, but it just feels like it's not gonna still be here in a couple of years. It feels like this is they're gonna come out with an orange driver. Justin Rose is gonna pap it everywhere, and
break the head off it.
and we won't. It won't be here in a few years.
Yeah, the only way it could potentially would be what price point they do. Like, you know, one of the reasons why Tacoma is obviously not only from the reason why that's done well. Obviously, it's had great marketing, but the thing about that is that it's direct to consumer. It's way cheaper than any of this, and the performance is similar.
I would imagine that
It's
McLaren
like-
being the luxury car
Well, exactly, yeah. And
are not going to go with the
well, no, yeah, exactly.
Walmart level.
I'm also going to throw I'm going to put my name into the hat and throw it into the ring of opinion, which says it ain't going to be cheap.
Well, yeah, but that's
It's going to be. I'm going to say it's going to be $1,000 for a driver at least. I'm going to say £1,200.
Well, then that is then.
So you set a timer on it.
Yeah.
Start it now. Let's get back into the comments when it dies.
Yeah.
It's just not. I don't get it. So if you think about the established brands, you think about Titleist, for example.
It's always the oldest brands work the best.
Yeah, but it's also with Titleist. Like Titleist, obviously, we're signed with, and I've been a Titleist fan and known about Titleist since I was a junior golfer, because that was the brand that if you're a good player, you use Titleist.
Yeah.
But they were in all the pro shops. They had all the fitting gear in the shops. They were in with the pros. They were in with the shops. They supplied all the equipment. You know, they had the tour presence. You know, they had the players which really did inspire. You know, back in the day, you had Tiger, for example, with the Tyler stuff, and it was like, oh my god, this is it. Like, they're the brand. These are the clubs that I really, really want. Now, to get that type of appeal, you need to be in the game for years and years and years of continued success. And maybe I'm just being a bit pessimistic. Maybe I'm just being a bit stuck in my ways. I can't understand how McLaren are going to inspire golfers to buy their clubs.
Well, the obvious one could be that Justin Rose goes out and wins the Open with the clubs. Like that, it could do something.
Yeah.
But it seems somewhat unlikely in some ways. There's a bit of a Kickstarter in it, like that you wouldn't necessarily.
McLaren do have a very loyal F1 fan base, and they do have So if there's anything, from that aspect, but yeah, it's really.
I think, like, you do have cars that have fan bases, but very rarely will you see a fan of McLaren or the McLaren F1 team driving a McLaren car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the gateway drug.
Maybe.
Buy a McLaren driver, next thing you know, you're driving a McLaren car. Maybe that's what it is. Who knows? But yeah, I'm interested to see what happens.
See what happens. Yeah.
I can't see how it's going to work, but hey. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Who knows? Right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We are going to... What?
Or listening.
Or listening, or feeling
Or smelling.
what we've been saying.
Or tasting.
Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and give us a 5-star review on your local podcast provider. That'd be great. All good?
Are we going to go to the Rocky Steps now
In
Philadelphia?
Yeah, if we've got time. What time's sunset?
8 o'clock. Yeah, 7:45.
7:45.
Yeah. Something like that. We've got about an hour. I don't know if we're going to have enough time.
Okay, we'll see. We'll figure it out.
We'll find out.
Right, guys.